Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart.
Happy Monday, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren. For those guys who are new, I go by Locks by Lauren on Instagram, and I'm a hairdresser in LA. Today I'm going to be showing you a technique that I really love when my clients have some gray, and it's called gray blending. I like to do this on hair that is dark, that want to be light and ashy, because this kind of gives it a softer grow out. And whenever you put permanent color on hair that is like a level 6 and below and they want to be blonde, whenever you go back in and lift it, it always lifts super warm. So doing it this way with no permanent color and just blending out what they naturally have just makes it a whole lot easier for them to achieve a look like this. So let's get into it. So here is my client's before. Her hair was super long, so we are going to be cutting a lot of that old blonde off, but she said the last time she colored her hair was a few years ago, so a lot of the hair that we're going to be working with is going to be pretty much virgin, which is amazing. Hopefully it will lift exactly where we want it to be, but her goal is to be as like gray and ashy as possible so that she doesn't feel like she needs to come in for too much maintenance when her grays grow in, and it gives her like a really soft grow out. So I'm going to show you how I like to do that with clients who have this much gray or even less. So in the back here, I've already started foiling her, and I do my signature balayage where I do some more chunky weaves towards the bottom and then gradually convert them into more medium size and smaller weaves as I get towards the top where she parts her hair. So here I take pretty paper thin slices though, like when I do my weaves, because I want these slices to be see-through enough so that they can get an even amount of lift. So here, as I get towards the crown, I do start to leave some negative space in between my weave, and what that means is I'll take a paper thin slice below my weave and then I'll weave out the hair on top. That way it creates some slight dimension just right at the top of where she parts her hair, because everything underneath where she parts her hair and more so below the crown, I do these weaves back to back without any negative space in between other than what is left out of her weave. And this is to make sure that the ends of her hair kind of give that illusion that they're pretty solid and everything is colored. And then as I get towards the top and where she parts her hair, I start to leave a little bit of dimension so that it creates more of a blended look, even though we're doing slightly bigger weaves. And this kind of overall, when you shadow root this type of style of foliaging or whatever you want to call it, it does give a slight baby light effect when you shadow root it and leave negative space in between these bigger weaves. And in case you've never watched any of my other videos, the reason why I like to balayage my clients this way is because it makes it a lot easier for me to do their next session. And what I mean by that is a lot of my clients, they like that blended balayage look, but the light ends where it's like super solid. So a lot of the times doing it this way, I'm able to get them pretty light, and then the next session when they come back in, I just pick out the pieces that I left out this session, and then eventually the ends of their hair start to become more solid as I maintain that blended look at the root, because a lot of clients do like having that seamless blend at the root that gives them that really soft grow, and that's mostly the reason why a lot of people are drawn to balayage, because it grows out so softly and seamlessly. So again, doing my balayage this way, I'm able to easily pick out the pieces and get my clients light and solid in just a few sessions. So now as I move towards the front sections near her face, I do these back to back as well, and I do them a little bit more chunky on the bottom, and then again gradually make them a little bit more of a medium size to small weave as I get towards the top. But I do this back to back with no negative space all the way up to about like normally like the temples of my client's head. And then I'll switch off and do the other side and go all the way to the temples of the head. And then after that, I do start to highlight the hairline and do the whole money piece depending on how chunky or blended they want that money piece. And then after finish that money piece, I will resume going back to the sides and weaving out the top of the crown. And since after I do the money piece and I do the top of the crown, that part will be a little bit where I leave more dimension to give more of a softer blended look. I really enjoy this technique because doing these sections right above the ear, pretty solid back to back, it creates almost like an extra money piece around the face because it creates this really nice brightness that kind of shows that the color is nice and bold on the ends, and when they wear their hair curled and down and they bring their hair forward, it just frames their face really pretty and makes them feel like they have a lot of color. Sometimes when you do like partial balayages or anything that like is more dimensional, I still like to do this in the front so that my clients feel like they have a lot of color around their face, and then sometimes I'll leave like the back sections that I first started off with on this client a little bit more dimensional if they're wanting something more dimensional overall, because I feel like even though this is the whole section on the sides, it almost acts as like an extra like added on to their money piece, and depending on how bold they want their money piece, I for sure will do this part solid. One huge tip that I make sure that I do when I do these sides is when I weave them, I make sure that my weave, I'm weaving out the hairline around my client's face, because if I leave that part out, then you automatically lose some brightness, and it can leave some awkward spots when they pull their hair back. So with each section that I take around here along the sides of their head, I do make sure that I'm weaving the hairline, and this kind of creates a solid hairline on the sides here to get that extra brightness around the face. Okay, so once I was done foiling my client, this was totally off camera and totally my bad, but usually when my clients have really long hair and I balayage them and their foils are this long, I'll take them to the dryer and I'll literally just put the ends of the foils in the dryer and put it to like medium heat to kind of mimic whatever their body heat is giving off at the root. This is because if I just let this sit, a lot of the body heat will be kind of at the root area and above her shoulders, and so those ends that are below her shoulders won't get much body heat at all. And sometimes you'll find that the root kind of processes a little bit quicker, or sometimes if a client's hair is really long, the chair could even be in the way between like the body heat coming through her back. So I like to just put the ends in and have it kind of match the body heat that is going to be happening with her root, so that the root doesn't process faster than the mids and ends. So with my client here, her hair was a little bit more stubborn than a lot of my clients' hair, so I did let her sit for a little bit longer than usual, and I lifted her to about a level 9 and 10 throughout her head because that was our goal, to try and get as ashy as possible. So for my client's toner application, I did use the Pulp Bright Liquid Demis for her formula, and I just recently discovered this color formulation that I've been really loving on a lot of my clients who are wanting something really ashy. So for her root, I am using 6-1, and I really love the 6-1 from this line because it is such a nice blue base ash. at a level 6. It's not too blue or too not enough ash, which I really like. So it creates like an ashy brown type of tone, but when you first apply it, you will see it turn a little gray, and then as you leave it on for about like maybe 7 to 8 minutes, it does start to turn more into like an ashy brown, which I really love. And then for her application, I did start at the top and work my way all the way towards the bottom, and then I tapped the hairline last. Now for the mids and ends formula, I mixed up 8-11 and 8-2. And the reason why I wanted to mix up 8-11 instead of 8-1 is because I feel like 8-11 definitely has enough ash where it will make the hair turn more gray, because using just the 8-1 alone, like I said before, it kind of creates like that ashy brown. But when you use the 8-11 or the -11 series, you will start to see more silver and gray tones because it has more blue pigment in it. And I did add some 8-2 to help neutralize some of that yellow first before it starts to turn the hair a little bit gray. And what this formula does is it essentially, the pieces that are level 10, it will make those pieces really silvery and pretty. And then the pieces that are about a level 9 and below, that might be a little bit warmer, that didn't lighten all the way this first session, which is totally fine, will just kind of create a really nice ashy blonde, and overall will look really pretty against everything else. Now while I'm toning, I really love brushing out the hair, making sure that I'm fully saturating with the liquid demis. And my favorite thing about the liquid demis is, one, the shine and the consistency and the like how well it moisturizes the hair, because I feel like after I put on a liquid demi, I always feel like the hair feels softer, and I'm even able to like brush it out a lot better than I did before putting it on. Alrighty guys, so here is my client's finished look. You can see it's got some gray tones and some ash blonde tones, but overall it gives such a nice blend against her natural. We didn't low light at all. I didn't use any permanent color at all. I just strictly balayage and highlighted her hair and then toned it with the liquid demis. And I seriously was so obsessed. My client was really happy, and she can just expect this to fade a little bit more blonde. She can maintain it with some sulfate-free color-safe shampoo, and then maintain that ash tone with some Barcelona purple shampoo from Pulp Riot as well. And the key to keeping this color super gray and ashy like this is to use the Barcelona and leave it in the hair for maybe about 3 to 5 minutes. You can play around with it, but I would say at least 3 to 5 minutes to really get that pigment to stay in the hair and keep it as ashy as this. Of course, it won't look exactly as she left for the salon today, but it will help a lot to kind of cancel out the warmth until I see her for her next appointment. But that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's hair transformations. I hope you guys learned something new. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching and everything and all your support. I really appreciate all your comments and everything. And yeah, I will talk to you guys next week.